Alright, what's up everyone, I'm Faloki, and today we're going to be taking a look at a recap of the Week 4 matchup between the Miami Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. In the Week 4 matchup between the 1-2 Miami Dolphins and the 3-0 Seattle Seahawks, the Seattle Seahawks ended up pulling it out, winning by 8 points and moving to 4-0 on the season. This was a slow day for Russell Wilson when it came to the passing touchdowns, as he had been getting 4 or 5 passing touchdowns in the past few games. Going into a game against the weak Miami Dolphins, Russell Wilson was expected to do very well, continue on that 5 touchdown, 4 touchdown type of games, and he only had 2 touchdowns today, but we did win the game. Chris Carson got a little bit more involved. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. So Russell Wilson, of course, less touchdowns than you would have expected against a weak Miami Dolphins team. However, overall, it was a pretty good game for the offense. Russell Wilson completed 24 of his 34 passing attempts for 360 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He was also sacked twice on the day. Russell Wilson's interception came off a pretty unfortunate play for him, where Miami just drew up a really good blitz play where they got someone unblocked running at Russell Wilson. He had to throw off the back foot, threw it a little bit short, a little bit under to DK Metcalf. I think if he would have set his feet, it definitely would have been a touchdown, but Xavier Howard ended up getting the interception. It was unfortunate. I think if he did get a time to set his feet, it was a touchdown, but off the back foot, it was a little bit weak. It was an interception. So honestly, unlike that Greg Olsen missed catch that was a pick 6, this was definitely an interception that goes on Russell Wilson. It was a very good blitz play by the Dolphins. So overall, it was just a good defensive play by the Dolphins right there. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception, not really the historic start that he has been doing for the past few games. And when it came to the run game, Chris Carson played real well coming off that injury against the Dallas Cowboys. He had 16 carries for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also got 20 yards in the passing game. So overall, 100 total yards, 2 touchdowns. Very good game for Chris Carson. It was nice to see him come back after what we possibly thought could have been a pretty bad injury from Tristan Hill, but he didn't get suspended. Chris Carson came back. He's fine. He had a bit of a scare before halftime where he got hit pretty hard, went into the concussion protocol. He came out fine, came in the second half, continued to play very well. So it was definitely nice to see Chris Carson there. DJ Dallas got the opportunity to get some carries with Carlos Hyde out. He got some pretty good carries, honestly. He made a couple plays in the passing game look real good. He had a couple carries that looked real good. So DJ Dallas, I think he looked good today. As a backup running back, he looked fine. He looked like a Chris Carson 2.0, but Chris Carson definitely played real well today. For the receivers, DK Metcalf played real well. David Moore played real well. Tyler Lockett, a bit of a slow day, only 2 catches, but DK Metcalf and David Moore definitely were the centerpieces of the passing offense today. Greg Olsen, the man who dropped the pass in week 2 that I was very upset about because I lost in my fantasy game, gave Russell Wilson a pick 6. Honestly, just a bad play by Greg Olsen. He has been making up for the past 2 games. He played real well last week, made some pretty good catches and some pretty important plays. This week he had some real good 3rd down conversions. He was just being very reliable today. So honestly, Greg Olsen, he is definitely making up for the mistake he made in week 2. When it came to the defensive side of the football, we had 2 interceptions. Ryan Neal got yet another interception this week. Shaquille Griffin as well got another interception. Shaquille Griffin looked great today. He was making some great pass breakups. He had some pretty good coverages. He had that interception. He did let up a couple plays, but overall Shaquille Griffin was definitely the best player in the secondary. Ryan Neal, being on the active roster after coming up from the practice squad, got another interception today. That was definitely good for him. He had some pretty good plays in coverage. He definitely let up a couple plays, and there were some missed tackles today by just about everyone on the defense. But overall, Ryan Neal, he's looking real good coming from the practice squad. So has Shaquem Griffin. Shaquem Griffin is someone who I want to talk about real quick. I have a little bit of a rant when it comes to Shaquem Griffin and Cody Barton. Today, I really saw Cody Barton get a lot of snaps early on in the game, and he just looked uninterested. He looked slow. He missed a lot of tackles. There was literally the play that Ryan Neal got his interception. Benson Mayowa, I believe it was, hit Ryan Fitzpatrick's arm when he threw the ball. Cody Barton just missed the catch. Could have been an interception for him. Luckily, Ryan Neal did get the tip, but Cody Barton missed tackles, missed that interception, looked slow, looked uninterested, and then Shaquem Griffin came in, took his spot, and he played real well. He was playing hard. He made some plays in the pass game. He got some real good tackles, and like Shaquem Griffin, you'd see him, he'd be rushing on the left side of the offensive line. The play would be thrown like 20 yards to the right, and Shaquem Griffin is the guy you see helping with the tackle. Like, he was playing fast. He was playing all over the field. He was playing with heart. And honestly, Shaquem Griffin, I'm definitely biased. I really like Shaquem Griffin. Cody Barton, I don't doubt that he's a good player, but he just did not look good whatsoever today. He had a lot lot of bad plays. He looked slow. He just was not playing with the intensity that Shaquem Griffin was playing with. I would definitely like to see Shaquem Griffin take the spot of Cody Barton while Jordyn Brooks is out, at least, because Shaquem Griffin, he has been playing with heart. Of course, maybe the Seahawks are reluctant because he does not have two hands. I mean, maybe they don't want to play him as a real starter, but he is playing with heart. He's playing fast. He looks real good when it comes to his athleticism, and he's been making plays the last 2 weeks. He made some pretty big plays against the Dallas Cowboys. He made a couple real good stops today, and I would love to see Shaquem Griffin get a lot more opportunities, a lot more playing time, especially over Cody Barton. And I think the Seahawks kind of realized that, because Cody Barton got a lot of opportunities in the first half, but then when it came to the second half, Shaquem Griffin was really playing in that place a lot more. And I mean, of course, Shaquem Griffin's not a great coverage guy, but neither was Cody Barton. I mean, I'd rather have Shaquem Griffin be a coverage guy with his speed, who actually made a very good pass breakup against the Cowboys, rather than Cody Barton, who looked like he was just walking around the field, missing tackles, not really covering anyone. But, you know, that is a bit of a kind of emotional rant for me, because I really like Shaquem Griffin. Cody Barton, he just did not look good. I was really upset watching that game, just watching Cody Barton miss tackles, miss plays, but Shaquem Griffin played real well. I would like to see him get more opportunities, and that is basically what comes out of this rant real quick. But when it came to the defense as a whole, we definitely did a lot better, not giving up the real big plays like the 60-yard touchdowns, the 40-yard touchdowns, you know, the crazy stuff that we've been giving up the past few weeks that we really shouldn't be. But we did let a lot of underneath routes happen, which is, it comes with the territory. When you're going to focus on stopping the big plays because you've been cooked by them the entire year, you're going to let up the underneath routes. But we did miss a lot of tackles. Some of those were on Cody Barton, like I mentioned before. There was a couple third downs that Cody Barton missed a tackle that could have easily given us the ball back, but then it led to a field goal. But overall, I mean, we didn't really play horrible. We let up a lot of underneath routes. It was definitely a game of our defense bending, not breaking, the whole bend don't break saying. I mean, we let up a ton of yards. We let the Dolphins get really long drives. They got field goals. We didn't let up a touchdown until late in the game, when the Dolphins were, you know, pretty desperate. They needed a touchdown. They got a touchdown, but then Russell Wilson came down, got a good play to DK Metcalf. Chris Carson ran a 1-yard touchdown and basically sealed the deal. We got to stop, and then we won the game. But I mean, overall, good defensive game. KJ Wright played out of his mind. He had some big hits. He had some very good stops. He had 3 interceptions that he dropped. He could have had 3 interceptions today. One of them, I mean, went straight through his hands on the sideline. Probably would have been an interception to Ryan Neal if he didn't go for it, because that was just definitely a missed throw by Ryan Fitzpatrick. He had one in the end zone, I believe, that he could have had an interception pretty easily, and then he missed another one. Basically, he was in the right places. He just didn't catch the ball. But, you know, unlike Cody Barton, who missed that interception, he was in the right places. He was making plays, making tackles. KJ Wright, definitely a highlight of the game. Bobby Wagner, I mean, he's consistent. He's going to get tackles. He's going to do well. He's going to get some pass defenses. He's doing good. Trey Flowers, he kind of got bullied today. There were definitely some plays that he gave up, but I mean, not horrible. He didn't give up any like 60-yard touchdowns like he did last week, but he definitely did seem like the weakness today. Without Jamal Adams, our run defense didn't look as amazing. I mean, our run defense wasn't horrible. We didn't play terrible. We let up 4.7 yards per carry, which is definitely worse than we have before. I mean, 100 yards, 1 touchdown for the run game. Not very good. But that did come mostly from Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was their leading rusher. He was just kind of willing the Dolphins to even coming close to victory, because that's what Ryan Fitzpatrick does. But the defense played fine. I mean, we let up a lot of underneath routes. I believe the Dolphins had like a 4-minute drive, another 4-minute drive. They had like a 6-minute drive and then an 8-minute drive. So, I mean, that's definitely a reason why Russell Wilson had a little bit less touchdowns than he does normally, because such long drives leading to field goals. So there was really no point in the Seahawks kind of, you know, throwing a ton, because they didn't really go down. Like they had 6 and 8-minute drives getting field goals, and then the Russell Wilson led Seahawks would just get a touchdown the next drive in like 2 minutes. So it was definitely a weird game when it came to the time management. The Miami Dolphins killed us in time of possession, and I mean, we got a lot less touchdowns than we normally do, for Russell Wilson at least. But overall, it was a good game, good win for the Seahawks. I do not like that it was that close against a Dolphins team, but we have showed to be very good against teams that actually are good, like the Patriots, like the Cowboys, kind of, like the maybe Falcons, who cannot keep a lead to save their life. But against the Dolphins, it definitely shouldn't have been this close of a game, but it was this close of a game. We won the game. That's really all that matters. One really, really good thing that came out of this game was the fact that the Seahawks had no injuries today. I mean, there's probably going to be a couple of small injuries, like a tweaked ankle or something like that, but no injuries that are going to be keeping players out. No big injuries like Bruce Irvin and Marquise Blair tearing their ACL or something, you know. No big injuries like Jamal Adams getting hurt, Quinton Dunbar getting hurt, Jordyn Brooks getting hurt, nothing like that. it was definitely nice to see. I mean, Damian Lewis came back off of a sprained ankle pretty quick. Chris Carson came back off that Cowboys injury, and they played fine. They didn't really seem like they were injured. They seemed like they really got over that injury well. No one else got injury, no new injuries this week. That's really nice to see, especially with a team that's been getting injured quite a bit. You know, Bruce Irvin, Marquise Blair, those are big losses. I mean, Jordyn Brooks, Jamal Adams, and Quinton Dunbar are definitely big losses for this week. I think we would have played a lot better if we had those players in. But overall, I mean, no injuries today. That's very nice to see. I don't think the Dolphins really had injuries either, so this was definitely just a good game for both teams when it came to not getting hurt. I mean, Devontae Parker, he went out early in the game because he had an injury before, and he seemed like he might not play, but then he came back, did real well, 110 yards. I mean, that is kind of something that comes off of the Seahawks secondary not being great, but it wasn't a horrible game for us. It wasn't a horrible game for the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins kind of show that they can kind of keep up with a good team. Seahawks won the game, definitely closer than it should have been, but it was definitely a weird game with the time of possession and stuff like that. But overall, Seahawks win. What more can you ask for? This recap video was probably all over the place, but that's because this is probably one of the most emotional games for me for this year so far. I mean, it's only been 4 games. This was the 4th game, but I mean, like the Patriots game, that was emotional at the end because that was such a close play. The Cowboys game shouldn't have been that close. The Falcons game was a pretty easy game to get by. We just kind of dominated them. But this game, it should not have been this close. We made some bad plays on the defense. I mean, it was good to not see those big over-the-top plays being made, but seeing, you know, the Dolphins, I think they went 7 for 13 on 3rd down conversions, throwing like 2-yard passes on 3rd and 10, and then we miss a tackle and they get a 1st down. That was just really annoying. It was really annoying to watch this game because you want to see Russell Wilson. You know, me personally, I really want to see Russell Wilson win like a unanimous MVP. And with Dak Prescott getting like 500 yards and 4 touchdowns, being down the entire game, just complete garbage time stats the entirety of the game. It really just kind of made me upset because Russell Wilson is not getting the opportunity to get throwing touchdowns, you know, up his chances of getting MVP, make his historic start even more historic, because the Dolphins are wasting 8 minutes on a drive because our defense is just giving them like 11 yards, letting them get a 1st down and then let them get 3 more plays and then get a 1st down, you know, just wasting time. They're like the defense letting them waste time, not getting them off the field, not getting the offense on the field to really put a big gap between them. I mean, it was just real annoying watching this game sometimes. Cody Barton, I mean, I was actually livid about Cody Barton. I mean, the dude missed a tackle after about 17 missed plays, moving at the rate of a slug. I mean, I was upset at Cody Barton. I'm so glad that I didn't see him as much in the second half, and I saw Shaquem Griffin a lot more. But, I mean, I sure hope that we see Shaquem Griffin over Cody Barton this next week. And I'm stumbling over my words because I'm just thinking about it is making me real upset, just annoyed as I was watching this game. But overall, it was a win for the Seahawks, 31-23. We led every single quarter except for the 3rd quarter where we scored 0. The Dolphins had a field goal. So it wasn't a horrible game by any means. It was just kind of annoying to watch the Dolphins completely just run the clock out and our defense really do nothing to stop them. When it came to trying to make big plays, the Dolphins really didn't get to do that. They got a couple, but when they tried to make big plays, they got intercepted. Shaquem Griffin played real well. KJ Wright played real well. I mean, it was a pretty good game. Shouldn't have been that close, but overall, a win is a win. Let me know down below what you thought about this game. I've kind of said my piece. You kind of can understand that I was kind of annoyed watching this game because of the time getting ran off. Our defense just letting up a bunch of underneath routes. Of course, bend don't break. We didn't let them score many touchdowns. That was nice. But overall, it was an annoying game to watch, especially since it was so close with such a bad team as the Miami Dolphins are. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick is a great quarterback, but that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the game. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching.